Thank you for coming to my channel, JMac Sports 24/7. I am JMac. I wanted to talk about Trey Lance, our most recent trade with the San Francisco 49ers. And I decided to have this video on Trey because I didn't know much about him, because I don't really follow college football. I mean, I watch college football, but I don't follow college football. I enjoy football altogether, just period. I just don't follow it as most of other football fans. I do know Trey went to North Dakota State, and then he was drafted the third overall pick. And there's a lot of chatter. That's two things going on. Two types of chatter about Trey Lance going on right now. I'm hearing that Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott was unaware of this trade pending, and it caught him by surprise. So I was asked the question by a friend of mine, what do I think about that? And if that is to be true, I don't think that's good. That's not good for morale. That's not good for your starting quarterback you're paying an awful lot of money to. It's just not. If he was unaware that you traded to bring in another quarterback in, although it's QB2, QB3, whatever, you traded for a quarterback, not another position, a quarterback. And so if I'm your starting quarterback, I'm just looking at me. I mean, we don't know what's in Dak's head, but I do know what's in my head. In my mind, I'm thinking, wait a minute, I'm your quarterback. I mean, you didn't trade for another position. You traded for my position. My position. You traded for someone who was a third overall draft pick. Me personally, I was a fourth round draft pick. I wasn't supposed to be starting. And you traded for someone who was drafted in the first round, third overall. In the entire draft, third overall. Actually, the 49ers gave up their first three first round picks that year, 2021, 2022, 23 first round picks. They gave up a lot to get this guy we just got, Trey Lance. Again, I'm speaking as if I'm Dak Prescott. They traded a lot, so he was a high commodity that a lot of folk wanted, and one wanted so bad they pretty much traded their future. So now he's on our team as a backup, and I was not told that he was coming to our team to play at my position, and I'm supposed to be the leader of the team. Not just the offense, the entire team. So I look at it as, kind of slap in the face. And then you didn't tell my coach. My head coach is unaware. Now, again, I don't know this to be true. This is what I was just asked. I was asked that question. I'm not sure that is actually happened, that Mike McCarthy was unaware, that Prescott was unaware, but let's say, for argument's sake, that is to be true. I would feel some kind of way about it. And now, when in the locker room, I have to have reporters put, microphones and recorders in front of me, and they're going to ask the question, how do I feel about that? Was I aware of that? What do I think about this and that about concerning Trey Lance? So now I got to be politically correct, how I respond to these questions, annoying questions that, okay, again, my upper management or my, the office didn't inform me of this decision they wanted to make, and they made. And so now I feel like I'm hung out there to dry. That's what I feel like I was hung out there to dry, and left alone. I was placed on an island. That's what I would feel like. But and then so that's one part of the chatter. The other part of the chatter is that Trey Lance was a bust, and we traded for a bust, a player who was fool's gold, provided the illusion that he was, a hot commodity, and in demand. And now we have someone who's not going to pan out. We wasted a fourth round draft pick, a future fourth round draft pick. And so that's the other side of the chatter. So again, I just said I don't follow college football thoroughly. I do watch it because I like the Tar Heels and I like the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, and I like all of my HBCUs. I watch all those University of North Carolina A&T, and I also like Lincoln University, where my son attended, my youngest son, and graduated. So you can Google a name and get some information, or you can go to Wikipedia and get some, which I usually do, get some general information. You can always go validate the information you find on Wikipedia. So I get on the Google machine and Google his name, and 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 then once you read things, you want to put some critical thought into what you're reading, some critical analysis. You know, you got to think things through. So that's the latter part of this the bus chatter. This guy's 23 years old. We all know Jerry Jones. Jerry. When he gets smitten with a player, he will go get that player. But I'm telling you what Jerry is smitten with. He is smitten with Troy Aikman. Where did Troy Aikman come from all of a sudden? What? Troy Aikman? Troy Aikman? Where did he come from? Troy was the first round draft pick. He was the first selection in the first round in 1989. But you know what he's smitten about Troy, other than Troy is in the Hall of Fame and won us 3 Super Bowls and was a leader. He's smitten about Troy Aikman's measurements. This is my analytical thinking here. 6'4", 222 pounds. That's the ideal or the prototype quarterback Jerry Jones would like to have. 6'4", 222 pounds. Now, what Troy Aikman didn't have, he had an arm. He was incredibly accurate. He was not mobile. So he didn't need to be mobile because he had an Hall of Fame offensive line, a Hall of Famer wide receiver, a Hall of Famer running back. He didn't have to be mobile. But in today's NFL, a quarterback needs to have an accurate arm, make all the throws a pro quarterback should make, to be able to read second and third reads, to be able to improvise and run. And he wants a running quarterback. I'm getting a lot of emails flowing through right now. So I believe Trey Lance is 6'4", 220, 222, 6'3" and 3/4, 6'4". Again, look at the measurements. Trey Lance can run because the little footage that I did see on YouTube when he was in college, and college does not do a lot of the quarterbacks justice these days because a lot of them are running the ball a lot. It's designed in their offense to run the ball, and they're not really learning to throw from the pocket and look for second and third reads. They're actually designed. I mean, their play when the play comes in is to run the ball, whether it's these RPOs or naked bootleg. They're running the ball, and so Trey can run. I saw a lot of footage of him running the ball into the end zone. Again, these are highlights that I'm seeing. So I haven't watched a full game of North Dakota State, but several, not just a game, but any game really. Just highlights and footages of Trey Lance. And so based on that, what I've seen, and he must did well at the combine. He has the arm strength, I presume, to be drafted in the first round. A quarterback needs the arm strength. And I guess they thought they could develop him because they had Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm sorry, I'm butchering his name. And he was supposed to be their starter for the next 2-3 years. And then I would imagine the thought is to bring Trey Lance on slowly. But if you give up the barn, the house, you give up your firstborn for a quarterback. I mean, you drafted up to get the third overall pick. You gave up a lot of the future. And your quarterbacks have the slightest. Your starting quarterback have the slightest injury. I mean, if you give up a lot and to draft up, as the 49ers did, I don't care who your starting quarterback is. As I was just saying about Dak Prescott, how he probably was feeling, how I would feel. Can you imagine what Jimmy was feeling when the 49ers traded up to get this young North Dakota State prospect to play at my position? So I can imagine what he was thinking. So the writing was on the wall. And then you're getting a lot of kickback from fans, from, I guess, the front office. They want to win. We put a lot of, we gave this guy $34 million guaranteed for 3-4 years? And he's sitting on the bench, 34 mil? He needs to play. And so, right quick, I pulled up a quick stat. Again, you can find this anywhere. This is Wikipedia. I want to see what he did in college first. And he was redshirted his first year. He was redshirted, right? And in 2018, he played 2 games, right? 2018, he had 2 rushing touchdowns. Trey Lance had 2 rushing touchdowns. The following year, in 2019, Trey was named the starter. He led the Bisons to a 2020 Division I championship and was named the MVP. They won the game 28-20. That was 2019. And then 2020 came. The whole world knows what happened in 2020. You have to be crippled, blind, and crazy if you don't know what, well, not even crippled, but I shouldn't say that, I apologize. But you have to be, I don't know, from another planet and you didn't know what happened in 2020. So yeah, I apologize for that comment. It was a COVID year. Hit the entire world. So he had one game. He had he attempted to throw the ball 30 times, completed 15. He had 2 touchdowns in the air and 2 on the ground. And that was in 2020. And then come 2021, he gets drafted by the San Francisco 49ers. So again, he only had really one game. One game in college. I'm so sorry, one season. One season in college. And that season, in addition to that one game, and then he must have did well at the combine. I don't know what combine his record stats was at the combine, NFL combine, but the 49ers was smitten over him. So much they gave up a lot to get him. So he only played one season in college, one complete season. And now now in 2021 he's a backup. He's the backup, and I think he gets hurt. He plays 6 games in 2021. Attempted 71 passing, completing 41, which is a 57.7 percentage, 603 yards. He had 5 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He had he had 1 rushing touchdown in his first season with the 49ers. He was a second-string quarterback. But he made his debut in week 1 against the Detroit Lions. He was used on 1 play in the first quarter. During week 4 against the Seattle Seahawks, Lance saw his first significant playing time when he relieved an injured Garoppolo in the second half. He completed 9 of 18 passes. It was at 50% for 157 yards and 2 touchdowns and rushing 41 yards on 7 carries. Following the game, it was announced Lance suffered a sprained knee. So he had a sprained knee after that game. The injury made Lance unavailable for week 7 matchup against the Colts. He returned as the backup the next week, 33-22 victory over the Bears. Lance did not take the field again until the 49ers final drive against the Jaguars. He remained the second-string quarterback for the next 5 weeks until Garoppolo suffered a thumb injury. Making his second start in week 17 against the Texans, Lance threw 249 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 INT. The 49ers won 23-7, earning Lance his first career win. Lance's start marked his first appearance in 2021, returned for the regular season final against the Los Angeles Rams. He held a backup role during the 49ers run, which concluded with a defeat to the Rams in the NFC Championship game. Following the season, Lance revealed he spent the year battling a right index finger injury he suffered in preseason game against the Los Angeles Raiders. So he had this alleged injury for the whole season. So that was in 2021. That's just him. He didn't really play in 2020. He was a backup, and when he performed as a backup, he performed well. He did well. And then 2022 comes. Lance was named the starter over Garoppolo in the 2022 season. But he appeared in only 2 games before suffering a season-ending ankle injury against the Seahawks in week 2. His only full game of the season was the opener against the Chicago Bears, completing 13 of 28 passing for 164 yards and an INT in a 19-10 loss. Lance had a second surgery on his ankle to remove hardware causing irritation. That's 2022. In 2023, Lance entered training camp competing against second-year quarterback Brock Purdy. A few days after being named the third-string backup behind Purdy, Lance was traded to the Cowboys for a fourth-round pick. So he has a really, really short collegiate career as a starting quarterback. And he really hasn't played in the NFL. He started, a game? But he played in a total of 8 games. A total of 8 games he's played in the NFL. And so why would he be considered a bust? Why would this young man, he's 23 years old, apparently he has some raw skills that awarded him to be selected in the first round. Not just the first round, but in the top 10. Not just in the top 10, but in the top 5. He was the 3rd overall pick in the draft. So so now he's on the depth chart of the Dallas Cowboys as QB3, I believe, with Cooper Rush being QB2 probably, and we know who's QB1. And as far as I know, I haven't heard anything. It's 11:17 Eastern Time a.m. that Will Grier is still on the team. So as I wrap this up, give this guy an opportunity to develop. We drafted Dak in the 4th round. We gave him a 4th round pick for this 23-year-old guy who was picked in the 1st round. I don't think Dak Prescott would have got selected in the 1st round of any year coming out of college. So give this guy an opportunity to grow. Let's see. Don't rush him. But now I can understand Dak being agitated, not being informed, because is he the heir apparent? Is he like a negotiating wedge when it comes to his contract with Jerry and Stephen Jones? So I can see why he would be irritable about that, and Jerry needs to go and make his quarterback feel comfortable. Today, go talk to your quarterback, put him at ease. Today, this is your starting quarterback. Make him feel comfortable, put his mind at ease. Today, Jerry, if you haven't done so already, put his mind at ease. He's the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, the most watched team, the most hated team, the most beloved team. Everyone else has a favorite team, and everyone else have a favorite team they love to hate. And we're the Cowboys. It's the Cowboys. They just hate because we're great. They hate the star. They hate our cheerleaders. They hate the stadium. They hate the history. They despise the history. And the number one thing they hate about the Dallas Cowboys more than anything else is not Michael Irvin. It's not Deion Sanders when he played for the Cowboys. It was not Jimmy Johnson. It was not Tom Landry. The number one thing haters hate about the Dallas Cowboys more than anything else, and I don't think anyone would say I'm wrong when I say this, it is the fans. Our fans that make us great. They hate us, because we wear this proud. We don't bend. We don't break. We're Cowboy fans. I get more talk, more conversation, no matter where I go. I live in Pennsylvania. I used to live in Philly. Can you believe that? For over 20 years. Philadelphia. I used to live in Philly. I'm from North Carolina, from Greensboro to be exact, North Carolina. And then after the Marine Corps, I go to Philadelphia. I'm in the lion's den. I'm at ground zero of hate. Ground zero of hate. It didn't break me. I didn't bend. They want. How can you? How can you? You're not from Texas. You're not from Dallas. How can you root for the Cowboys? You live in Philly now. You should root for the Eagles. Ooh, wow. I used to get that a lot. Then they realized this dude ain't gonna break. I ain't gonna break. I mean, the one time I come close to being broke when Tom Landry was unceremoniously let go. A lot of Cowboy fans left at that point. I mean, a lot in droves. There was a lot of former Cowboy fans walking the earth right today because of that one move. That one move. But I stayed. So we are who they hate the most, the fans. So no matter where I go and travel, they have their favorite team where they're at, and the team they love to hate is this one right here. And guess what? We haven't won a Super Bowl in 100 years, but yet they still hate us because we don't give up on our squad. We represent. All right, I just want to get that out. So if you agree with me about the Trey Lance thing, let me know. Now, listen, I see people watching the video. They're watching the YouTube, my video. You're watching the video, but okay, I see you watch, but I didn't see the likes are not matching the viewing. I mean, the viewing's here and the like is. I mean, how much energy does it take to click? Maybe you don't like the video. I didn't think about that. Wow. I hope that's not the case. But so I'm asking you, please hit the like, and share it with your family member, your colleague, your homie. Let me know what you think about Trey Lance comment and your thoughts on how Dak Prescott probably feel about it if he wasn't informed, and let this guy Trey Lance grow, and let's get ready for the season.